Good morning. Welcome to Arndt Middle School. We want you to know how much we appreciate you being here to help us proctor, whether you're here today and tomorrow or a few days next week. Thank you so much for your time. We're going to try to do the training where it's the video, and then you'll also have Miss Sims who will be here with you during the training. So if you have any questions, she's there for you. There's a couple things that I want to go over. First of all, your responsibility as a proctor is to attend training, which you are doing. Miss Sims will also give you a sheet to make sure that you fill out, stating that you have attended the training. And that you are going to carry out the duties that are going to be described. Ms. Sims should have given you or will be giving you the testing code of ethics for North Carolina. We need for you to read that before you leave today. I also want to bring to your attention section K of the testing code of ethics. And what that is talks about the unethical testing practices, which include but are not limited to the following practices. And there's 1 through 12, if you would please make sure that you pay special note to that. Also, if you would please look at letter L, and it talks about in the event of violation of any of these rules, the process that needs to happen next. It is expected that all proctors and test administrators maintain test security at all times, and for this reason, you are not allowed to read any of the test materials that students have, whether it's a book in front of them or on the computer. Again, no test materials, no test items are to be read. The test administrator, under certain circumstances, will have a read aloud all or read aloud upon request, but that is only if it is in a special plan for the students, and each test administrator has that paperwork and information. For computers, securing test materials would mean pausing the computer button. If a student has a book, that would mean closing the test booklet. Test books that are not being used during the test administration must remain closed. All North Carolina assessments are secure. No person may copy, reproduce, or paraphrase any test material in any manner for any reason. Nothing can be reproduced at all. Students cannot take the test book or answer sheets from the test room for any reason. At no time are proctors to be alone with secure test materials, including computers, with loaded active assessments. Even if you are asked by the test administrator, please do not handle any test materials whatsoever. No proctors are allowed to do any coding of information, and proctors cannot assist students in choosing any responses. It is important that you help test administrators ensure that the physical conditions of the room are appropriate for testing. So if you notice anything such as burned out light bulbs or any loud noises that are distracting, please bring it to the test administrator's attention. You may also help make sure that materials are appropriately distributed, such as bookmarks or highlighters, pencils, paper, just not testing sheets or test books. Please make sure that the test administration procedures are followed, that the test administrators are reading the directions from the book word for word. There cannot be any paraphrasing. There cannot be any explanation. It has to be word for word read. Proctors and test administrators must walk frequently and quietly throughout the room. There cannot be any conversations, no cell phones, no iPhone watches, nothing that could be a disruption to the students. It's imperative that we have a testing environment that the students are comfortable and able to focus. For online administration, proctors should notify the test administrator if a student has a computer problem, such as network malfunction or an item fails to load properly. Only test administrators are to assist students with computer problems and may answer any student's procedural questions. What a proctor says and how he or she behaves can affect how students respond to test questions during the test administration. Again, you may not assist students in choosing responses or test questions, and you shall not at any time modify, change, or alter with student responses to test questions. In the event a proctor needs to sit during test administration, you should position yourself so that you have an unobstructed view of and easy access to the students. Proctors must remain attentive to their responsibilities throughout the entire test administration. The following distracting behaviors are not allowed: holding extended conversations with the test administrator or any other school staff member. You cannot read any materials, no newspapers, magazines, or novels. No eating or drinking unless it's for medical reasons. No carrying out personal or professional duties. No talking or texting on cell phones. No using any electronic device, or engage in any activity in the test room not directly related to the test administration. You may assist students with emergencies and restroom breaks during testing. If a student must leave the room during testing, the test administrator, leave the room during the test administration because of an emergency, proctors must assist the test administrator as appropriate to deal with the situation. Each test administrator has this help that you can put underneath the door, and somebody will be there immediately. The room number to the conference room where there is always going to be someone is going to be 302-118. Your test administrator has this as well. You want to make sure that if there is an emergency, that it is handled immediately and with minimal disruption. If the proctor or test administrator must leave the room, the test coordinator must be notified. You would need to let me know at 302-118. Again, the primary responsibilities of a testing proctor would be to making sure the students are able to focus in an environment that is least disruptive, quiet. You cannot at all have any electronic devices. You must not guide a student for questions or answers. You must not make facial expressions or hand gestures or voice inflections or anything to indicate you have an approval or unapproval of a response. Please don't stand behind or beside a desk to where a student would feel uncomfortable. Please do not tell a student to look at that question again. And proctors cannot help students by explaining things in their own words, by explaining the meanings of any words, or by rephrasing, translating, or providing synonyms. It's imperative that each student complete his or her own work without assistance in order for the test scores to reflect the student's ability. Proctor monitoring of the test administration will help ensure the color answer sheets are the same for the book and the sheet. The form number is correctly coded on the answer sheet. Students mark appropriate answers in the appropriate section of the answer sheet. Students mark answers with a pencil and not a pen or felt marker. Students who need assistance or have a problem can be assisted with minimal disturbances to other students, such as needing a tissue or a pencil breaks or a calculator becomes or malfunctions or becomes ill. Students taking mathematics assessments raise their hand at the end of the calculator inactive questions to receive a calculator from the test administrator. Students working on the calculator active part of the mathematics assessment must have a handheld calculator. Proctors should look for a small calculator printed on each page of the mathematics test book or calculator icon in the upper right corner of the screen for online mathematics assessment, which we will not have. These icons indicate the student is working on an item in the calculator active part of the assessment. The books will have a calculator icon on the top right. Students taking online assessments do not click start until they are told to do so by the test administrator. Students taking online assessments do not take more than 10 minutes to complete the self-paced sample items. Students taking online assessments do not use other software installed on the computer. And the test administrator is aware of any students having computer problems during an online assessment. It is also your responsibility to make sure that you report any testing irregularities. Even if you are unsure, please report it. A testing irregularity or alleged testing violation must be reported immediately to the testing coordinator. Eligibility issues. All students who are eligible to take the EOG, the Math EOC, or NCFEs must take it. Any accommodation issues would be students who have accommodations on a plan and they are not provided. Security issues would be testing materials are missing or not properly returned. Some monitoring issues or concerns would be the test administrator leaving the room unattended with secure test materials in there. Testing personnel not monitoring students during a break, or making sure that students are not working independently, or if there was secure materials that were removed from the testing area, or if students are cheating or copying or using a cheat sheet. Again, it's your responsibility as a proctor to make sure that the North Carolina Code of Ethics are followed and upheld. Also, please maintain student confidentiality. If you are with a group of students, they're not to be talked about, their names should not be used. We do expect all of our proctors as well as our staff to maintain the utmost confidentiality. A couple more things that I want to show you before my portion is done. At the end of testing, this would be placed underneath the door, so then that way someone would know to come and either collect the materials or be ready to receive your materials in the conference room. All the doors should have this testing do not disturb sign on all entry points. Also, your sticker for proctoring must remain on you, so that way we know that you are a guest in our building. Again, we appreciate your time, your dedication to our school community, and most importantly to our students and their great success that we have here at Arndt Middle School. If you have any questions, please let Ms. Sims know and she will be happy to help you. Again, thank you so much.